come on out, Trix. You're in the next scene. I'm not doing it. Oh, come on. That last bit was embarrassing. Oh, come on. You got a lot of gratitude. Trixie had panties thrown at her. Yeah, fine. It's going to be fine. Trixie doesn't even know where she got those. We don't even wear clothes. Come on, Trix. Remember, you got a fan base waiting to see you. Trixie supposes you're right. There's a lovely fan base waiting to see you, Trixie. The things I do for her. Trixie waved at her friends as she entered Sugar Q Corner. Trixie always marveled at its bizarre appearance. When the building got half destroyed by a monster attack, it was remodeled to a bakery youth center. The oddest combination Trixie ever heard of. Still, it was a fun place to hang out with her friends, and Ditsy loved bringing her daughter here. It also had a dojo, making an excellent place to train. After so, Trixie's friends promised to meet her here, and she spotted them on the one front tables. Bon Bon was with them. They waved back only to recoil when they got a good look at Trixie. What the hey happened to you? Lyra cried out in alarm. Trixie's face and most of her body were completely red like it had been burned. I just spent the last hour in the shower at the hottest setting. It was the only way I could feel clean again after what happened. There's no doubt in Trixie's mind that having her thing on her head was the grossest thing ever. I see, Lyra said hesitantly. The rest of Trixie's friends looked at each other. Cloud Kicker apologized for what happened. She didn't think you would react so badly, Raindrop said. Oh, as he was also wondering if you still might be interested in banging. Tell her absolutely not! Trixie almost shouted. You shouldn't be so surprised, Trixie, cheerily looked amused. You are famous now. You're probably going to have a lot of admirers now, especially being the leader. Trixie sat down with glum. Great! Hey, there might be a chance for you to find somebody, Lyra said helpfully. No, thank you. Love is for the birds. Trixie waved to Pinky to come over. Nice, we're gonna get ya, Pinky asked. She had a notebook in her house. 6 cupcakes would be fine, Carrot Top said. One with hot fuzz and jalapenos, Trixie ordered. Gotcha! Pinky zoomed off to get their order. I don't understand. What's wrong with love? Lyra sounded perplexed. It involves too many gross things, and sharing your life with another pony seems like such a bother, Trixie snored. You should give it a chance. It isn't so bad, Lyra said, pouting. Bon Bon giggled. Trixie ignored her and decided to change the subject. I've been meaning to ask you, Bon Bon, where exactly did you get those fighting skills? Back during the Corvus incident, Bon Bon held her own against the strongest monster Trixie had ever seen. She did it without even flinching. Trixie knew something was up with her. Lyra immediately jumped in front of her mare friend protectively. I know what you're going to say, and Bonnie is not a spy for Greengrass or any noble. I wasn't going to six that, Trixie rolled her eyes. See, was he ever going to live that down? Ever since he mistakenly accused Twilight Sparkle of being a spy, Lyra seemed convinced Trixie was a paranoid loon. Really? Lyra snorted. It's fine, Lyra. Bon Bon put a comforting hoof on Lyra's back. The truth is, I like to live late and do Thai bell class. See? A perfect explanation, Lyra boasted. What? That doesn't explain anything, Trixie yelled. So see how much you know, Lyra sparked. Now, Bon Bon soothed. Bon Bon is completely normal. Lyra crossed her front legs. I've known her my whole life. Trixie grunted in annoyance. Lyra was so protective of her mare friend, it was ridiculous. Bon Bon was more than just a candy maker. She could feel it. But for now, she would have to annoyingly drop the subject. In a few moments, Pinkie Pie returned with their order. Trixie nodded gracefully and started munching on her cupcake. I noticed you started adding swords to your act, Trixie, Ditsy pointed out. At least 5 Trixie used no one. Trixie shrugged. I just like using them. It is a fun excuse to practice my swords ponyship. Trixie found she was actually quite adept at using a sword. Dizzy was about to say something when Cloud Kicker burst into Sugar Cube corner rather loudly. Trixie groaned as he noticed Cloud Kicker was coming right towards them. Look, I'm flat. Trixie was about to say, but Cloud Kicker stuck her hoof in Trixie's mouth. That isn't the party right now. Cloud Kicker screamed, Carrot Top, you have to get to your house right away. Carrot Top gave a look of alarm. What do you mean? It's completely collapsed, Cloud Kicker said frantically. Carrot Top looked at the remains of her house in total shock. When it stood upright, it was a lovely single red-story house with a gray thatched roof. It was a sizable estate with about 7 rooms or so. Now it was a complete mess. It looked like it fell into itself. Carrot Top didn't move or say anything. She didn't even cry. She just stood there staring at it with a wide-eyed expression. The rest of her friends tried to comfort her, but she didn't respond. What could have caused this? Trixie thought. The house was old, but it was well maintained. It looked like it would stand for another 100 years at least. She didn't like this one bit. Something about it smelled fishy. Dizzy wrapped a blanket around Carrot Top. What am I going to do? Carrot Top finally said. Tears started forming at the edges of her eyes. He's gone. My farm is doomed. I had everything in there. Tools, supplies, everything. Carrot Top put her face in her hose and started to sob uncontrollably. Dizzy put a comforting hoof on her back and started rubbing easily. It's gonna be okay. We can get through this. Yes, we can! Trixie exclaimed, staring at Carrot Top. And the great and powerful Trixie already has a plan. But? Carrot Top looked up and stuttered. Trixie flourished her cape. We will see what we can recover, and if anything is broken, we will ask some of the nearby farms if they are willing to donate anything. Buy if we have to. Carrot Top sniffed. I guess that might work. Work? No. This will be even better than before! Trixie exclaimed. There are plenty of ponies who would be willing to help out. Shirley gave a warm smile. Don't think you're alone in this, okay? Raindrop smiled as well. In the meantime, you can sleep at our house. Larry suggested and Bonbon nodded. We're near your farm, and it won't take too long to commute here. You have home insurance, right? Trixie asked. Yes, but who knows if they would actually cover this, Carrot Top said gloomily. Trixie crossed her hooves. We will see them tomorrow, and make sure they will. Carrot Top was crying again, but this time looked like tears of joy. Thanks, guys. She tried and failed to wipe the tears away. We're a team, Trixie smiled. That's what they do. Meanwhile, Greengrass marveled at the gadgets and machinery of the Research Department of the Ministry of War. The department was researching all sorts of methods to protect Equestria. Greengrass watched the pony use some rod-like device to melt stone wall. This pony was an earth pony. Another was using a flame spell and a suit of armor. Not only was the armor completely unblemished, but cool to the touch. In the sky, Greengrass could see a pony trying and failing to control his jetpack. It was all very impressive. Cybernetic leg. Machines. So, is this fit going to introduce a common rider or a metal hero? Because, quite frankly, I'd be all for either one. No, it'll surprise us both. How so? Elephant a moss eater. I could live with that. Vinyl looked equally impressed and gave delighted sounds when she spotted something she found particularly cool. Their guide, Solitaire, the head scientist of the facility, gave a detailed description of each project. She was a tan pony with a twisted brown-colored mane. She had thin red glasses and a love coat. Her key mark was a single playing card, the Ace of Diamonds. And here is the planetary system. Solitaire showed him to a door that led to an individual lab. The Aztuk you will be seeing you inside. Solitaire opened the door for them, and Greengrass and Vinyl went inside. It was much like the rest of the lab with its strange machinery, but this one was far more spacious. Ponies were at tables using equipment for unknown tasks, or writing and reading notes. You could see several smaller rooms, each with a glass window for observation.
So, what do you think of the work we do here, Duke?
Great Archficer greeted. There was the obvious pride in his voice. He looked more self-satisfied than normal for some odd reason.
Impressive. I see the funds the princess provides you to protect the country are put to good use.
Greengrass resisted, rolling his eyes at the obvious ploy to impress him with the ministry's might. Fisher beamed, but became guarding suspicious when he spotted
And who the hey is that?
He pointed at Hoof and Final. He almost shouted. Nearby scientists stopped what they were doing to look at the commotion was. There's some gas. Oh my gosh, is that DJ Pone 3? One of the scientists exclaimed.
And who is that?
The Fisher asked the scientist. You know, DJ Pone 3, the writer of songs like My Little Bass Cannon and Digital Pony Love. The scientist explained. She's kinda famous.
Never heard of her.
Fisher snoring. He looked at Greengrass with suspicion.
And what is she doing here?
Notary is sick. Greengrass gave her a reassuring smile. Vinyl is coming for her. Fisher almost laughed in disbelief.
Really? A famous DJ working as your secretary?
Vinyl shrugged. Yeah, had to pay the rent somehow. Fisher narrowed his eyes. The other scientist nodded in understanding and sympathy. Totally. The rent in Camelot is so bad, I had to wait tables at Bennigan's just to get by, one scientist said.
Fisher glared down. Get back to work or I will dock your pay! Again.
The scientists yelped and got back to whatever they were doing. Greengrass felt sympathy for them.
I don't know what you are planning, but I won't let it work!
Fisher stomped a hoof. Greengrass shrugged and gave an innocent look. I don't know what you mean. Fisher looked at Vinyl over up and down.
She's a cripple! You don't play a pony like that without reason!
Vinyl's eyes twisted in irritation but said nothing. I believe in equal opportunity employment, Greengrass explained.
Foolish! Fisher snorted. But that doesn't matter. Time I show you how I plan to bring down the Tyrant Sun and the Rangers!
Fisher led them to one of the small rooms. Through the observation window, Greengrass could see a small reticular device attached to wires on a table. It was gold and looked very similar to Galaxy Rangers morphers.
This is the planetary system, and it is our greatest hope for stopping Corona.
Fisher smirked.
It contains powers far greater than any of the Galaxy Rangers.
Solaire gestured towards the device. We learned how to duplicate the transformation process of the Galaxy Rangers, but the biggest problem was finding a suitable power source.
That is why we're using the planetary gems. They are ancient items of immense power, said to contain the power of the ancient gods the planets are named after. The power was stolen to create these gems according to legend.
Fisher explained. Greengrass could see a glimmer of hunger and greed in Fisher's eyes. Having the power of a god was something Archduke wanted badly. Really? Vinyl sounded skeptical. The legend said that they were created by cultists to power a super weapon. Powerful enough to burst their hole in reality to let them in, Solaire explained. Them? Vinyl raised an eyebrow. Them, creatures from the outside of the universe. Solaire became very serious. The cultists believe those creatures whose names have been lost to time deserve to rule this world. Not the princesses, not the old gods, but them. Greengrass gave an involuntary shudder and didn't know why. Something about the story filled him with dread. Greengrass shook his head. No, that's just a legend. He thought, it's a myth created by insane ponies. But the one thing we do know is that they have invented some powerful magic that can be retooled to suit our purposes. Solaire continued. There is one problem, however.
The damn things won't work just for any pony,
Fisher answered. Solaire nodded. Even with the morpher, they will only work with a pony compatible with the gem.
Fisher smirked. I believe I've already found a candidate to use them.
Greengrass nodded in understanding. Truthfully, he already knew all this. While it's true he hadn't had to use spies watching the Ministry of War before, he did now. He was able to get all the research data very easily, in fact. His people were able to come up with information the Ministry didn't have. They were able to get all of this information even though only a day had gone by. Greengrass's people were very good at their jobs. He knew the gems required a strong will, and he knew just the pony that might be able to use one. A burly stallion walked into the lab. He was an aqua blue unicorn with an orange mane. He was very muscular. He bulged out in every direction. He was almost twice as tall as Greengrass. His mane was in a military crew cut. His cutie mark was a book with a feather in it. Philo went down, obviously liking what he was seeing. The stallion walked up to him. For some reason, he was lifting weights in both halves while doing so. He put the weights down and saluted to Fisher.
You wanted to see me, sir?
After saying this, he picked up his weights and started lifting them again.
Fisher gestured towards the stallion. Yes, this is Stanza, one of the finest soldiers in the Legion.
Stanza put down the weights and took out a jumping rope and started jumping rope with them.
You do me an honor by saying that, sir.
What are you doing that? Greengrass asked, unable to hold back the question any longer. Stanza tasted doing push-ups to answer the question.
I'll keep myself in shape. If not, I will lose my age.
I see, Greengrass said, baffled. Fisher beamed with pride.
Far better than those buffoons Princess Luna enlisted.
Stanza was doing sit-ups now.
I don't know about that. They seem to be good ponies, and they have quite a bit of potential in my opinion.
Fisher glared at Stanza distraught.
Anyway, he will be the first real test subject.
He gestured to one of the devices. Stanza nodded and entered one of the small rooms. He approached the device in the room. So far, we've only been able to find 5 of the planetary gems. This is the Mercury gem, Solar explained. Are you ready? Stanza nodded, grabbed the morpher, and unplugged it from the wires.
He did a pose. It's wolf time.
He did the thrust of the morpher in front of him. There was explosive energy. Stanza was lost for where he was standing into the wall behind him. The wall was massive and the stallion fell to the ground. The scientist opened the door and rushed to his aid. Stanza struggled to his hose to signal he was fine. Fisher was in complete shock.
Look,
Stanza said with a groan. Seems like he is the guy you want, File said heavily.
No matter. Fisher waved a hoof dismissively. We have plenty of other candidates. Stanza stretched. If you don't need me anymore, I'll be off. I'll go a 10-mile run before I have to do this morning.
Fisher waved him away and left. Where in Equestria does he get that much energy? Greengrass said, but mused. I'll pay you for a dick later, File mused with a wide grin on her face.
Bring in the next candidate,
Fisher yelled. For the next 2 hours, many ponies were brought in before the morphers. All attempts ended the same way Stanza's did. Fisher grew more and more agitated by the failures. He was stunned that none of these soldiers qualified. He started pacing nervously. He did not like that his plan was failing. Fisher stopped a hoof when a mare in a purple coat and white mane failed.
This is ridiculous! These are the best of the best! How can they fail?
He started pacing again. This is so stupid! Let me try! Final walked past the scientist into the room with the mercury morpher.
Somebody stop her!
Fisher yelled. Greengrass watched her closely. His instincts told him that Vinyl had the necessary will to wield one of the gems. He saw the way Vinyl looked at the mercury morpher, like it was calling to her. It's muffin time! Vinyl grinned. She had no fear what would happen to her if she failed. She thrust the morpher in front of her. Body was enveloped in light. When the light was gone, her body was covered in armor. It was pink and had a white V-shaped armor that went to her shoulders. The helmet was the mercury symbol on the forehead, and the visor was black, and there were 3 spikes on each side. The side of the helmet had white bird wings on it attached to it. Mercury. Vinyl's voice had obvious satisfaction to it. Fisher dropped to the ground in complete shock. You know, I just had another theory. Oh, what was that? Remember how Mercury was going to be a cyborg in the original plans for Sailor Moon? Yes. Oh. Clever. That's what he planned.
Yep.
You have seen the last of me! Tracy yelled as she stomped out the search firm.
There'll be no need to be like that, Miss Moon.
One of the search policies plans said. He's right. We're sorry we can't cover it, but the type of damage isn't covered by her plan. One of the other search police plans said. They were identical twins with yellow coat and red manes. Flame had a mustache. Flame nodded. He's right. There really isn't anything we can do. Tracy got into Flim's face and growled, Make it! Flim gulped. There isn't a simple fire, flood, or monster damage. It's the complete collapse of the house, Flame said. The house was just old. Could happen to any pony. You're lucky to even be alive, Miss Top. Flame put his hook to his head directly. Think of what would happen if you decided to go home early. Thank the stars you weren't, Flame agreed. Carrot Top nodded and looked down depressed. She sighed. I tell you, that damage wasn't normal, Trixie yelled. It was sabotaged, I tell you. But do you actually have any proof of that, Miss Little Moon? Flim argued. According to our inspectors, the support bees were just old, flamed Karen. How could that be foul play? Trixie grunted, not wanting to give up the point. I'll be sure that the princess hears this. She'll have your hides for this. Goodbye, Miss Little Moon. Flame waved a hoof as he ran out to the firm. Good day to you, Flame said as he closed the door. Trixie growled, Those highway robbers! What are you supposed to do with our house? Carrot Top hugged her head and tried towards her farm. Don't be like that. We can beat this, Trixie said comfortably. What's the point? They won't cover it, Carrot Top said defeatedly. You really need to stand up for yourself, Trixie said. You barely said anything after they said they wouldn't cover you. If I were you, I'd be throttling them right now. Carrot Top gave a small chuckle. I'm not like you, Trixie. I don't like something at ponies. You need to be more assertive, Trixie nodded her head. You can't let putties like them walk all over you. Like it doesn't help, Carrot Top said aside. Trixie grinned. You never know if you don't try. I wish I was more like you, Trixie. Carrot Top looked away. I'm not like you or my grandmother. I don't have that kind of fire in me. You could if you give it a try, Trixie said confidently. Maybe. Carrot Top said half-heartedly. They walked back to Carrot Top's farm. It was a complete mess. Things that could be salvaged were a small pile. That was us able to be saved, sadly. The rest of Carrot Top's friends were at the neighboring farms asking for whatever they could give. Oh, that's right. Carrot Top stood up. What is it? Trixie asked. Carrot Top went to her field. In the commotion, I forgot to check the irrigation system. Trixie nodded. Okay, I will double check for anything that still might be valuable. They went through the ruins thoroughly, but it didn't hurt to double check. Trixie used her magic to put aside broken debris. She grinned when she was able to fight an attacked teacup. She dropped a part of the roof when her magic was holding her magic when Carrot Top gave a yell. Trixie rushed to Carrot Top's side. What is it? Carrot Top pointed towards a hole she made to inspect the irrigation system. Trixie startled when she saw what Carrot Top was pointing towards. In the ground, there were these strange gray and red insects. They were coming out of the metal tubes of the irrigation system, like to chew their way inside and were living inside of it. What are they? Trixie asked, horrified. I think they are called mesamites. They feed on mineral deposits like iron and breathe in water. Carrot Top put her head in her hose. She started sobbing again. I'm doomed! Trixie stopped a hoof. No, you are not. We will fix this too. Carrot Top turned towards Trixie, fury in her eyes. How? How do we do that? I bet insurance will cover this either. So what I'm going to do, huh? What's going to pay for this? Trixie bolted a sudden intense anger. Well, this isn't something that can be fixed by pure blind optimism. Carrot Top growled. Maybe that might be something I might be able to help with. A voice over started drawl said. Carrot Top and Trixie turned towards the intruder. It was Applejack. She was head of Sweet Apple Acres. It was part of the Apple Trust, the biggest farming conglomerate in Equestria. Trixie narrowed her eyes. And what do you want? I just thought I'll come by, see you, Carrot Top, Applejack said. Those of y'all look at me like that. I don't respond for this. Trixie snoring. Really? Yes, really. Us apples don't resort to tricks like this, Applejack said angrily. Why don't even bother? Miss Top's farm is just a small carrot farm that bothers nobody. So what do you talk to me about? Carrot Top asked, trying to get her composure. I want to give you an honest offer you all might like, Applejack said. I want to buy a golden harvest.